At this hour. Joining us now is Republican Congressman from Illinois, Adam Kinzinger. He is also a former pilot for the Air National Guard. Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
It's going well, but we've been listening to these very vivid reports from our correspondent, Rick Leventhal, from Benghazi, in which he is describing that Gaddafi certainly is not engaged in a ceasefire. In fact, his forces are firing on civilians and rebels in Benghazi this morning. What are we to make of these reports?
You know, I think it's exactly what we can expect from Gaddafi. You know, the man has been untrustworthy for decades. He killed Americans on a Pan Am flight, killed American servicemen at a discotheque in Germany. I mean, this is a terrible dictator. And you know, it goes beyond the pale even when he begins just indiscriminately killing his people. So we can't trust a word he says. When I heard about this supposed ceasefire, I knew that, you know, hey, that's probably untrustworthy. And it seems like the president knew it as well. And so I support this implementation of a no-fly zone. But, you know, this is just a terrible and tragic situation, and hopefully we can at least begin to make a difference from at least the air attacks in a brief period of time here.
Ambassador Susan Rice to the UN says Gaddafi is in violation of the UN resolution and should expect, quote, swift and sure consequences. What does that mean?
Well, look, the United States Air Force and the air forces, it looks like now, of potentially France and Britain are the best air forces in the world. And we have the ability in a very short way, in a very quick way, to dispose of his ability to give us any kind of surface-to-air threat. And then we have the ability to come in and make sure that any aircraft that has aggressive, intentions on his own people will be quickly taken care of in the sky. This is what we're very good at doing. I've served with a lot of these people that are probably over there now. And I'll tell you what, we can do this quickly where we can clear the skies from that threat. And then as far as any attack on the ground, I'll leave that to the president. But I think it's very obvious that the international community has stood up and said that Gaddafi's attacks against his people will not be tolerated.
But, Congressman, does this mean that this morning we are now in a third war?
No, I don't think it's a third war. Keep in mind, basically from the end of Desert Storm until kicking off, 2003 Operation Iraqi Freedom, we implemented a no-fly zone over the northern and southern parts of Iraq. And in many cases, you know, besides short spurts of activity when we implemented the no-fly zone, for the most part, until the end when we resumed a war for other reasons, it was pretty quiet. We flew jets, we flew sorties, and for the most part, Saddam kept his air forces grounded. So I think this is going to be a limited engagement. I don't call it a third war, but obviously we're very concerned about a real defined goal, what it is we're there for, and not having what we call mission creep, where you have a mission start one way and it progressively gets deeper and deeper until you're further in this thing than you ever want to be.
Yeah, we sure want to avoid that. Representative Adam Kinzinger, thanks so much for joining us.